Assalamu alaikum. Let's cook.
My friend told me in Singapore, whites are evil. I cannot disagree. He said whites are evil, period. I didn't say that. He said that. I'm not.
But you think it.
Yeah, now who's going to next? Maybe Bill Gates, Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, one by one.
Well, so you're just naming all rich white guys.
I don't know. All these guys are involved. All white guys. No Asian men involved in this one. But the Philippines, all white guys going after little girls. Then Thailand said, this is your DNA. You have DNA. That's DNA. But I can understand, yeah. Because white people, they robbed the whole world. They stole the world. America, Australia, New Zealand, India, they're robbers. Jamaica, or they're thieves, you know. Now they're coming here stealing Asian girls now. Shit. Bullshit. No respect.
So you just had a bad experience with
come on, I'm telling you,
with white people in general.
What you see around the world, you know, you don't deny that. Demand. Jeffrey Epstein set up the sex island. Why? Many whites, they are the peddlers. That's why I set it up. Supply and supply, demand and supply. Here, why white people coming? Japanese girls are stupid. They're looking for white guys because they got brainwashed by the stupid Hollywood movies.
Yeah.
They weren't speaking one word of English. You're going out with them. That's what's fucking going on. Not only here, Thailand, Philippines, Vietnam, South Korea, here, all fucking shit going on. Asian girls, not all, but they don't care about tradition.
So,
they care about fucking sex. Fuck shit. Bullshit. Period.
So what do you think, what do you think we can do to resolve?
Okay, for those who followed the original Runaway Slave channel, you may remember I covered a situation in Spokane, Washington. There was a high school football team that was hazing the black players on the team. I mean, like racial abuse, sexual abuse, all this nonsense at this high school called Meade High School in Spokane, Washington. Yeah, they were doing all this racial hazing, real disgusting. So first, let's go to this place, Spokane, Washington. And this is a place right here that's 2% black, the whole town. This town has more biracials and Latinos in both of those categories than they have black people. So they're more biracials than black people, and they're also more Latinos than black people. So we know this town is pressure. This is pressure if you black. Now, this school reflects the town, super white. Now, on this football team, there are a few black players that they had who were being racially harassed, or what they call hazed, by these white teammates. So when the team was at their summer training at Eastern Washington University summer camps in 2022 and 2023, there were white bullies, aka teammates, who were pinning down and assaulting black players with a massage gun and, you know, things like that. Of course, in the private areas, that's what these guys seem to be very infatuated with, even at a young age to an old age, while other players on the team recorded this and circulated the footage. Now, these players who were doing this were these big white Cornhusker types. We talking 6'5", 6'6", 300 pounds. Some of them were named, okay? And there was all kinds of racial targeting, assaults on these black teammates, racial slurs. They were calling them the N-word whenever they wanted to, constantly, 24/7, around other teammates, around coaches, not just at this football camp. They were repeatedly called monkey. They were told that they needed to be put on a leash and all this other stuff. Coaches never corrected it, of course. There was also another retaliatory attack once these players told their parents. Some of them are also on a wrestling team, and in the wrestling team van, one of these black players, they covered his face, punched him, doused him with water, and he said the wrestling coaches actually blamed him for it. This is one of the black players who happens to be on a football team and also on the wrestling squad. Now the coach, let's go to this football coach. There was a white teammate who stepped in, right? When they were going through all this racial hazing at this football camp, there was a white teammate who stepped in and said, listen, this is wrong. Stop this. Cut this out. You know, taking up for the black players. They gave him hell too. They started to abuse him also. Of course, they can't call him the N-word and stuff like that, but they could. Maybe N-word lover or doing all kind of other stuff. They got him too. You know what I mean? They tried to tell the coach. Well, of course, we know failure to take accountability and responsibility. The head coach is a white guy named Keith Stamps. He was told he did nothing. He was eventually fired in December of 2024. When the school district did an investigation, they said that he received two separate warnings, also including referencing this sexual misconduct because they were doing sexual stuff, yo. You know what I mean? And he did nothing meaningful at all. So he was fired, but he has since appealed this firing. His boss, the athletic director, white guy by the name of John Barrington, he retired, but he was also accused of sitting on this information. So basically, they told him and he did nothing. He just covered for the players and the coach. The principal, a white woman named Kimberly Jensen, she resigned at the end of the school year of 2024-2025. And in her deposition, she said that Coach Keith Stamps and athletic director John Barrington concealed the extent of the incident from her for months. She said that when she inquired, they just told her, oh, it's just the boys roughhousing. And they resisted her repeated requests. She said 7 times. She has all of this recorded. She said 7 times they resisted my repeated requests. She said the head coach told her, this is what the coach told the principal. He said the last time a principal looked into the football program, they got fired. So this dude, Keith Stamps, thought he was some kind of white god of the football team, football program, and he probably had it like that out there for a while. And you know what? I don't know what this principal would have did, this woman, but I do believe that she went and looked into it, this Kimberly Jensen lady, and they just said, pretty much get out of here. This is none of your business. I believe that. Now, I don't know what she would have did, but I believe that. You know what I mean? Well, these players and their parents who were abused by this team and that one white player, they all went lawsuit on the school district. All went lawsuit, okay? So Spokane County Superior Court, a judge ruled that the Meade School District was liable for failing to protect students from foreseeable harm, violating mandatory reporting laws, and engaging in gender-based discrimination. She issued another liability ruling covering additional plaintiffs. Now, here's what happened at the trial. There are some who took this to trial, right? There's one black player and his parents, and one white player and his parents. Remember the white player who was targeted also after taking up for the black teammates. They took it to a trial with a jury. They just won last month. They deliberated for less than 2.5 hours. They were awarded $17 million total. $8 million went to the black player, $7 million went to the white player, and $500,000 to each of their parents. So both parents, the mother and the father of the black player and the mother and the father of the white player, they each got $500,000. Now, they also filed a separate federal lawsuit, okay? They're asking for $50 million in this federal lawsuit against the Meade School District and Eastern Washington University, because that's where this stuff happened at their dormitory. And this is still pending right here, okay? Now, again, there were other black players on the team as well that were harassed. There were 2 more. There were 2 more black players who were harassed. They took the settlement. They didn't take it to trial. I guess the people said, listen, we could throw you this. One of them took $800,000 and the other one took $1 million. So they took the settlement. And the white boys who were harassing them, doing all kinds of stuff with just brutal stuff, they got misdemeanor charges. But prosecutors said, okay, they're going to send you to a diversion program instead of these charges because none of you have prior records. These players are all adults now. I mean, not all over 18 in college and everything else. You know what I'm saying? The school district said they take these rulings seriously, this, and that, or whatever. Look, man, I hope that they get off in the federal lawsuit also. You know, I really hope they do. Now, my thing with this situation is this, man. When these things happen to black people, all they could do is give us some money. That's it. So I'm glad that they got that off. The black player got $8 million. His mom and dad got $500,000 apiece, and the other two black players. Even the white boy that took it to trial got paid. But I'm glad that they got paid. You know, sometime when these things happen, you be having these Negroes standing up talking about, well, this is not all about the money, and this not about the money. We want an apology. Why? What you want an apology for? You know, want no apology for what? Hold that, whatever you got, hold that. Keep thinking like that and believing like that. Don't care about no apology. Pass the bag of money or I'm suing you. That's all you can do. And I'm glad that's what they did. You know what I'm saying? And the coach who allowed this, listen, every white person in this equation will be okay. That's the thing. That's why when I see white people get fired and all that, people get happy. I'm like, whatever, man. That don't mean nothing. The white community awards their racists. That's not how it goes. You know, when we see them, oh, we found such and such job. He was fired. She was fired. That don't mean nothing when you white, man. You know, you can be white and you can constantly call a black child the N-word at a playground and white people will give you $1 million. You a nobody. That's how disgusting these people are as a community. Remember the Ukrainian lady calling a black child the N-word constantly, standing on it? They made sure she got $1 million. That's all she did. You know what I mean? So it's like whatever. So when these things happen, man, them people don't care, man. That's why I'm like, I hope the black person involved gets a big bag of money, whatever it may be. No apology. You don't want to hear no apology. Take that apology. You know what you could do with it. Also, people, description, sign up, email list, link, masterpiece. The N-word is no secret in the service down in the description. Go ahead and holler at that. Easy.